So this being more of a national topic, as you can imagine, I've got something to say about this. Not that I haven't talked about it for like 10 hours over the course of the last 3 days. But the one thing that I'll say is that if you look at the Miami football head coaching hires since their last national championship, none of them, aside from Mark Richt, let's take him out for just a second, none of them have accomplished anything at the Power 5 level, either before the Miami job or after the Miami job. Their coaching hires have been horrendous. Mark Richt was a different situation. It was a good hire. He didn't accomplish what was expected. It was obviously a short tenure. None of us saw that coming. I think maybe what we've seen, unfortunately, from his health status since then may have played into the energy and the effort that he was able to give that job. He still brought in a top 10 recruiting class, still led them to a first 10-win season and Orange Bowl berth for the first time in forever. So he was off to a decent start. And then I just think he wasn't prepared to. It takes a lot of energy and effort to be a Power 5 head coach. Now they hire a guy who I'm not going to sell him as some great coach by any stretch, but he has accomplished at Oregon. He has taken a decent program and upgraded it somewhat. They've not astronomically taken off, but he has brought in the best recruiting class in the Pac-12 3 consecutive seasons, has won the conference twice, has won the Rose Bowl. So they're bringing in somebody who's shown that they're capable. Finally brought in somebody with a track record.
This is to use the term, and I've used this the past 2 days. It's a high risk move with the possibility of a high reward. You figure in money wise, and Mark has said it correctly. Miami doesn't spend money on coaches. Miami has never really gone out and spent big money on a coaching hire. That's just because that's not what Miami does. They put their money towards their academics. They put the money towards investing in the Cedars Medical Center, essentially nearly bankrupted the school. Now that's starting to make some money, but they still are in debt over that. With contract, with buyouts, with incentives, with coaches, the promises of what it's going to for the coaching staff and whatnot, it's at about $115 million, if not more, that they are investing in bringing Mario Cristobal in. It's a very high risk to do that right now, but it could lead to a high reward. But the question I go back to, can Miami fans be patient enough to realize it's not going to be turned around overnight? That's the biggest question. That's been Miami's biggest problem, dating back to probably the middle of the Coker years.
What do you consider turning it around?
I think Miami fans, and I say this objectively, this is somebody who covers the team, not saying this is a Florida State grad, it's somebody who covers the Miami team more on a consistent basis. Miami fans need to accept if they go, let's say, 8-4 next year, and let's say they lose to Texas A&M, let's say they lose to Clemson, let's say they lose to, 2 out of 3 between us, North Carolina, and Virginia Tech. Just using those as examples. I think 8-4 is a step up. By year 2 is when they need to win the Coastal Division, or at least be competitive in the Coastal Division race and get into that ACC championship game. And then by year 3, they need to be an ACC title contender. If this coming season, let's say they regress and go back to, or stay 7-5 or regress down to 6-6, that's where the problem's going to come into play. Miami's had the same problem that we've had at Florida State. There's been so many times where we've talked about Florida State playing down to the level of their competition. Miami this season played down to the level of their competition. Did Miami have more talent than Virginia? Yes. Did Miami have more talent than Florida State? Yes. Did Miami lose to both of them? Absolutely. There's no reason Miami should have had any less than 9 wins this past season with the talent Miami had on their field.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. That said, they went 7-5. For as marginal as they looked, they went 7-5. And they played Alabama and Michigan State non-conference. So they had 2 very difficult non-conference games. They went 7-5. So they only lost 3 games in conference. So they went 5-3. The division winner went 6-2 in the conference. So they only finished 1 game back, and they beat most likely the 2 best teams in conference on their schedule, NC State and Pitt. So if they just have capable coaching, They should have gone 9-3 this year.
If they beat Virginia or Florida State, just win one of those 2 games, they win the Coastal Division because they have the tiebreaker over Pitt. That would give them 6
Absolutely.
conference wins.
That's
So
how close
where-
they were.
Absolutely.
So capable coaching, not great coaching, not Nick Saban coaching, just a capable coaching staff in that awful division should get them 9 wins.
Well, one thing that Mario Cristobal on the recruiting side of things, his biggest advantage to probably grabbing some of those big time recruits was the uniforms, and we know for sure that that's not going to work in Miami. Adidas, that ain't going to cut it. So that's a pivotal thing there, Mark.
But I will tell you right now,
if you're telling me it is, it is.
I'm joking.
And one of the things
I'm just on a little shade to friend Cam.
No, but one of the things that you talked about a little bit, I think one of the things that Mario will help with is recruiting. And I think there's a lot of Miami fans down here, and obviously, he's married into a big money, multi-billion-dollar booster, Miami grad, and John Ruiz, who's already talking about this asinine idea of tearing down Coral Gables High School to build a stadium there. That would be absolutely the dumbest idea based on location, but we can talk about that at another time. I think they're frustrated when they see the recruits leaving Miami. And the recruits are leaving Miami in droves. They're going to the big programs like Alabama, like Ohio State, like Oklahoma. Marquise Brown going to Oklahoma. The Boses going to Ohio State. All Alabama coming in and taking South Florida recruits. But they're also going to Florida State. Florida State in this signing class alone has multiple players from Broward and Miami-Dade County. And at one point, the University of Miami had 1. That is frustrating to Miami fans because they are back to that old school philosophy of close off Miami. Cristobal is going to keep some recruits down here. But just like what we talked about with Florida State's recruiting, which we're going to get to next year in a moment, Miami needs to win these games. Miami has to eventually get back to the ACC championship game within the next 2 years. If they don't, the question is, was this move worth it?
Just real quick, want to correct myself because Luke has corrected me. That's right. So Pitt lost to Miami and they lost to Western Michigan outside the conference. So they went 10-2 regular season, 7-1 in the conference. So Miami needed more than that, even though they beat Pitt head-to-head.
Well, maybe if Diaz knew to call timeout, they would have beat us. You never know.
And if their kicker wouldn't have hit the goalpost, but this is part of football.
Yeah.
So that's what happens.
Oh, I don't feel sympathy for anyone who misses a game on a kick. Sorry. As a Florida State grad, it's by law.
Yeah, I'm talking to the wrong crowd here.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to feel any sympathy. Ooh, boo-hoo, you lost. I think we're up to like 12, but okay.
I have found out since we've been on the show here, YouTube has alerted me that we've reached 10 million views on the main channel.
Mazel
For
tov.
real?
Oh.
Where'd they do that?
That does not even include our team channels. So that's just the main channel there, 10 million views.
We
Very
got
nice.
us.
Let's get 10
Congratulations.
million more. Let's get 10 million more.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mark. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get you 10 million next month by Jason saying a lot of ridiculous things.
I can accomplish that.
Yeah.
That Logan's going to clip and put on Twitter.
I think we
Yeah.
can do that. I think we can do that. Yeah, I like that. I like your style.
TikTok. We put on TikTok. If we put some of these clips on TikTok, then boom. We need confetti.
Ooh, I like your style on that one.
I have
All right.
some Christmas stuff in the back here, but I don't think it's showing the full angle of my
You didn't give me anything for Hanukkah, but we're going to move on from that one for one more.